Welcome back to Midco Sports. Tonight, I'm Alex Heinert, proud to be joined alongside the head coach of North Dakota Hockey, Brad Berry, like we do every Monday. And Brad, for your team, you got to be happy coming off a pretty good weekend, 5 of 6 points against the Redhawks of Miami.
Yeah, you know what? Miami's a really good team. You know, they didn't lose much from last year, and coming back home after a couple of weeks on the road, getting 5 of 6, we're happy with that. You know, we wish we would have got all 6 points. But guys played pretty hard for 120 minutes, and we'll take it and we'll move forward.
Yeah, let's rewind back to Friday night now in Game 1. I know you weren't happy with the opening 20 minutes, maybe a little bit of a recall back to some of the earlier Friday night lulls this team has had, but a great response and a tremendous second period in that game.
Yeah, first of all, you know, Miami's a fast team. They're a quick team. They came out hard, and, we didn't match their speed. We turned over a few pucks, and they capitalized a little bit of time at our end of the rink, and I thought we did a really good job of adjusting, make some adjustments after the first period, and I thought we took over in the second.
Yeah, 3 big goals in that second frame, 2 coming from Nick Jones, Rhett Gardner with the other on the power play. Nick now 5 goals to lead this team, all of them coming in the last 3 weeks. What has he meant to this group in his young UND career so
Well,
far?
he brings so much to our team, obviously being an experienced guy, being in college at one time, going back to junior, and then coming back again to college, he knows what the rigors and how intense each weekend is. He can be counted upon in all situations, and he's doing a really good job to start the year. So we're looking forward to a lot more good things from him going forward.
Yeah, Jones, Gardner, and Grant mismatch combining on the score sheet. You get the 4. And you saw out the game, by the way. It was a 4-1 win, but you saw it out on Friday night. How important was it to shut the door and keep them off the scoreline?
Yeah, it was. Obviously not to let them in to get a goal and get momentum. That's a big thing. But on a Friday night, when you have that kind of a lead, you want to have that so that you can go into Saturday night. And a year ago, we mentioned it all week beforehand, and even on Friday night, that we were in the same situation on Friday night a year ago, and we got to let the game get away from us, and they won that game. So again, momentum is a big thing, and we wanted to make sure we carried it into Saturday.
Yeah, UND took Game 1. Rico Blase made some changes. Sat Kiefer Sherwood, one of their star forwards, made a couple line switches across the top to bottom, really on offense and defense, and they got out to a 2-0 lead. What did you see in the opening 30 minutes or so that gave them that 2-0 advantage?
Well, first of all, in college hockey, when you lose that Friday night game, there's a lot of pushback, and there's pride in the locker room, and we've been on that side of it. So we expected the push that they had, and they did. They came out hard, and they capitalized early, and we didn't match it again, and we got to make sure that we try to do that and remember that next time going forward.
Yeah, when Miami did go up 2-0 in the middle of the second, you responded 37 seconds later from Colton Pullman. How big was that goal to answer right back?
Well, it was huge. Again, we made a couple of reminders and adjustments of trying how to create a little bit of offense and then playing in their end of the rink instead of our end of the rink, and getting the puck in Colton's hands usually is a good thing. He makes good decisions, and it was a huge goal to get us going in the game.
Yeah, Colton, the first of 3 unanswered goals for your side. Yep. Looks like you had the winner at the end of the third period. They get one back to force overtime. Yeah. Felt like in both of those overtime periods, both teams played it a little bit safe, a little cautious in the extra frames.
Yeah, I think puck possession is a big deal. Late in the game when the ice is not good because of conditions, gets cut up, and then also energy level of players. You're spending a lot of time in 2 games, spending a lot of energy there. You want to make sure they have the puck and not give up the puck. So again, I think there was some calculated risks going on there.
You go to your first meaningful shootout. You had a couple shootouts that really didn't matter against Anchorage and Wisconsin, but both teams combined to go 0 for 6. I was told on the bench that Dane Jackson said, let's try shooting it instead of just trying to deke it past the kid. Christian Molanen stepped up in a big way. Does Jackson deserve a little credit for that?
Yeah, I think so. I think, that's something that should be common sense when the ice conditions are a little bit bad, and we always talk about that too, that shooting, you have probably a better opportunity, when the ice conditions are very good. But Christian does that every Thursday in practice, and he usually scores on that, and that's a good thing we put him out there.
Yeah, for sure. A little Brad Berry redux there, just trying to hit it as hard as you can and beat the goaltender.
Not a bad way. So.
Well, Peter Tomei makes the big save at the other end. 4 big stops for him in the shootout. You get the overtime win in the shootout to get the extra points. How big was that, especially knowing what's coming up this weekend? You have that momentum going into the Denver series.
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, the NCHC play, we're back into it again, and obviously with Miami being a very good team, they didn't lose very much. It was a good step for us. We got to keep moving forward. Now we're playing a Denver team that's, back on the rails again here. They swept St. Cloud at home, and it'll be a good challenge for us. And anytime that we step on the ice with Denver, it's a heated rivalry, and again, it brings out the best on our team.
Yeah, certainly. 2 top-ranked teams going at it this weekend. Your first trip out to Magnus in a couple of years, didn't play out there last season.
Yeah.
How much, obviously this is not the first big game for your group and not even the biggest one this season already. How much, with the hype and the buildup of the Minnesota series, how much is that going to help this group get ready for this matchup?
Yeah, I think it will. We talked about that earlier too, that the Minnesota rivalry, the Wisconsin rivalry, the WCHA, we've been in a few of those weekends now, and so it's not going to be new for us going forward. So we got to channel our emotions in the right direction. We got to make sure we have a great week of practice and prepare the right way against a very good Denver team.
Yeah, both of these games should be a lot of fun. A couple of 8 o'clock starts Central Time out in the Rockies. Coach, safe travels out there and best of luck this weekend against the Pios.
Thanks, Alex.
Brad Berry. Kelly, back to you.
All right, great stuff. Thanks, Alex. Looking forward to that big series this weekend. Well, coming up after the break, it was a huge weekend of high school football down in Vermilion as the Dome played host to the state championships. Jason Andera recaps the weekend and brings you some of the highlights next on Midco Sports Tonight.
Midco Sports Tonight, presented by Avera Orthopedics.